Welcome to this deep dive into
It's
resilience,
okay.
but with a twist.
All right.
We're exploring this crucial trait through the lens of the Israelites' struggles in ancient Egypt.
Fascinating.
You might be thinking, ancient history, what's that got to do with my entrepreneurial journey? But trust me, the insights we're about to unpack from this source are surprisingly relevant
Yeah,
for anyone facing adversity, especially in the fast-paced world of business.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's fascinating how this source connects the dots
Okay.
between the Israelites' trials and the challenges entrepreneurs face today.
Hmm.
Think market shifts, cutthroat competition, economic downturns.
Right.
These feel pretty familiar.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
And the source doesn't shy away from drawing parallels between the Israelites' enslavement and oppression
right.
and those very real obstacles.
Yeah.
It's a stark reminder that adversity is a constant,
Yes.
no matter what you're building.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the key takeaway here is that acknowledging these challenges without letting them define you is crucial.
Right.
The source emphasizes that adversity, whether you're leading a nation or a startup,
Mm-hmm.
is simply a part of any growth journey. It's how you respond to it that truly matters.
So I'm particularly intrigued by how the source highlights the fact that the Israelites actually grew stronger and more numerous despite their oppression.
Wow.
That's not just survival.
No,
That's thriving under pressure.
it is.
It perfectly embodies the concept of resilience.
It does. And for
Right.
entrepreneurs, this translates to adapting, innovating,
Right.
and maintaining determination, even when facing setbacks.
Right.
Finding a way to make those tight deadlines and limited resources work for you, not against you.
Yeah. Now, I remember when I was first starting out, I had this idea for well, let's just say it was an ambitious venture.
Okay.
Things didn't quite go as planned, and I had to pivot.
Oh, interesting.
But looking back, that experience taught me so much about bouncing back and using those setbacks as fuel for growth.
Right.
It was a crash course in resilience, for sure.
That's a great example of how what might seem like a failure
Yeah,
can actually be a valuable learning opportunity.
totally.
And that leads us to another crucial point. The source raises the danger of short-term thinking.
Okay.
Yeah.
The source analyzes Pharaoh's decision to oppress the Israelites,
Yeah.
pointing out that his fear-driven, short-sighted choices ultimately backfired.
Right.
It's a cautionary tale for any leader, really, but especially for entrepreneurs navigating a constantly evolving landscape.
What's fascinating here is how the source links short-term thinking to fear-based decisions,
Okay.
which can be incredibly damaging for a business.
Hmm.
This resonates with the challenges many entrepreneurs face,
Mhm.
the pressure to make quick decisions, sometimes based on fear of missing out or fear of competition.
So how do we combat that? What's the antidote to this short-term thinking trap?
Well, the source advocates for a long-term vision,
Okay.
one that's deeply rooted in your values and your ultimate goals.
Mm-hmm.
It's about making decisions that align with that vision,
Mm-hmm.
even if they require short-term sacrifices.
So instead of getting swept up in the daily grind, it's about taking a step back and asking,
Yeah.
where do I want to be in 5, 10 years? And are my choices today leading me in that direction?
Precisely.
Okay.
It's about playing the long game, building something sustainable,
Okay.
even if it means missing out on some quick wins.
Mm.
And speaking of turning challenges into opportunities,
That's what really resonated with me in this source.
Yeah.
It doesn't just dwell on hardship, but emphasizes the Israelites' ability to find hope and strength because of their struggles.
Right.
They actually use those experiences as fuel for growth.
That's such a crucial point. It's not about denying the challenges, but viewing them as opportunities
Right.
for innovation and progress.
Right.
This is something I think entrepreneurs can really relate to.
Yeah.
That ability to adapt, to pivot, to turn a seemingly insurmountable obstacle into a springboard for something new and exciting.
It reminds me of a quote I once heard.
Yes.
Innovation is born from constraint. It's like when you have limited resources or are facing seemingly impossible odds,
Right.
that's when your creative problem-solving skills really kick in.
That's a great way to put it. And the source provides a perfect example of this principle in action,
Mm.
the story of Moses.
Oh, this is where it gets really interesting. We're diving into the birth of a leader born in the midst of incredible adversity.
Right.
This feels like the perfect cliffhanger to wrap up part 1.
Indeed. In part 2, we'll explore how Moses' story exemplifies the transformative power of challenges
Right.
and how even seemingly insurmountable obstacles can become catalysts for profound change.
So for all you entrepreneurs out there, keep that in mind as we head into a quick break.
All right.
When we come back, we'll delve deeper into the source and uncover more powerful lessons from the Israelites' journey. Lessons that you can apply to your own path to success.
Sounds good.
Welcome back. Before the break, we were just about to dive into the story of Moses, a leader who emerged from the very heart of adversity.
Absolutely.
It's a fascinating example of how challenges can shape us,
Mm.
even pave the way for unexpected opportunities.
What's captivating about this particular story, as highlighted in the source,
Okay.
is the irony of it all.
Okay.
Despite Pharaoh's decree to eliminate all newborn Hebrew boys,
Right.
Moses not only survives,
Wow.
but is raised within the walls of Pharaoh's own palace.
Talk about a twist of fate.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like the adversity itself created the conditions for a leader to emerge.
Yeah,
Someone who could ultimately guide the Israelites to freedom.
exactly.
Yeah.
And that's a powerful lesson for entrepreneurs.
Hmm.
It's a reminder that even when things seem bleak,
Right.
even when you're facing what feels like an insurmountable obstacle,
Yeah.
there's always the potential for a breakthrough.
Okay.
Sometimes those challenges even forge the very qualities you need to overcome them.
So it's not just about weathering the storm, but about looking for those unexpected opportunities that might be hidden within the storm itself. But let's face it,
Yeah.
it's not always easy to maintain that perspective when you're in the thick of it.
Right.
There are times when that entrepreneurial journey can feel incredibly isolating.
Absolutely.
It-
And that's where the source emphasizes another crucial element of resilience,
Right.
the power of community.
Hmm.
The Israelites faced their trials together,
Right.
leaning on each other for support and encouragement.
Yeah.
They found strength in their shared experience.
You know, that resonates with me so much,
Yeah.
especially in the entrepreneurial world where you're often facing pressure and uncertainty.
Right.
Having a supportive community can make all the difference.
It can.
It's like having a tribe of people who understand what you're going through, who can offer advice
Right.
and celebrate your wins alongside you.
Precisely.
Okay.
That sense of community,
Yeah.
that shared purpose,
Yeah.
can be a powerful driver of resilience.
Hmm.
It's a reminder that you don't have to go it alone.
So it's about building those relationships.
It is.
Finding your mentors,
Yeah.
collaborators,
Yes.
your cheerleaders.
Yes.
Those are the people who will help you stay the course when things get tough.
Now, in addition to community,
Okay.
the source highlights another element that played a vital role in the Israelites' resilience,
Okay.
their faith.
Hmm.
For them, it was faith in a higher power,
Right.
a source of hope and strength during their darkest hours.
And how would you translate that concept of faith to the world of entrepreneurship?
Yeah.
What does it look like for someone building a business?
I think it boils down to having faith in something larger than yourself,
Okay.
whether it's a deep belief in your vision, an unwavering commitment to your values,
Okay.
or even just that unshakable trust in your own abilities.
Right.
That kind of faith, regardless of its source, can be incredibly empowering.
It's like having that inner compass guiding you.
Yes.
That voice whispering, "You've got this," even when doubt creeps in.
Right.
It's what keeps you going when the path ahead is uncertain.
You put it perfectly. And it's important to remember that faith,
Yeah.
in this context,
Right.
isn't about naive optimism or ignoring the challenges. It's about acknowledging the difficulties while choosing to believe in the possibility of a positive outcome.
So it's about hope.
Yeah.
But it's also about action.
Right.
It's about taking those steps towards that desired future, one step at a time.
Yeah.
Even when you can't see the entire path laid out before you.
That's a really insightful observation.
Thanks.
And that brings us to another crucial lesson from the Israelites' journey,
Okay.
the power of perseverance.
Okay.
Their freedom wasn't achieved overnight.
Right.
It was a long and arduous journey, full of setbacks and uncertainties.
40 years wandering in the desert. That's one long startup incubation period.
It is?
But through it all, they never gave up.
Right.
They kept moving forward
Yeah, I did.
one step at a time
Yeah.
until they reached their destination.
Their story is a powerful testament to the fact that success is rarely linear. There will be challenges, there will be detours, but it's the ability to persevere,
Right.
to learn from those setbacks,
Yeah.
and to keep pushing forward that ultimately determines the outcome.
So it's not about avoiding failure,
No.
but about embracing it as part of the process.
It is.
It's about extracting those valuable lessons from each misstep
Right.
and using them to course correct and continue on your journey.
Absolutely.
Maybe those detours even lead you to a destination greater than you initially imagined.
Now, speaking of the journey,
Okay.
The source also highlights another fascinating aspect of the Israelites' experience
Okay.
that's particularly relevant for entrepreneurs.
Right.
Even after escaping slavery,
Yeah.
they still face numerous obstacles on their path to the Promised Land.
Mm.
Hunger, thirst, even internal conflicts.
It almost feels like escaping Egypt was just the first hurdle.
It was.
The real test of their resilience came afterward,
Yeah.
in those long years of uncertainty and hardship. It's like reaching that first milestone in your business.
Right.
The launch, the funding, the big partnership,
Mm.
and then realizing the journey is far from over.
You've hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
Achieving a major goal is often just the beginning of a much longer journey.
Right.
And this is where that entrepreneurial grit truly comes into play.
Okay.
It's about sustaining that momentum,
Mm.
navigating those inevitable ups and downs,
Okay.
and staying committed to that long-term vision,
Right.
even when the initial excitement fades.
It's about having that tenacity,
Yeah.
that unwavering belief that even when things get tough, you'll find a way through. But 40 years in the desert,
Right.
that's a long time to maintain that kind of commitment.
Yeah.
What kept the Israelites going through all of that?
That's where the source really delves into the crucial role of leadership.
Okay.
It points out how Moses,
Mm.
despite facing doubt and rebellion from his own people,
Yeah.
remained steadfast in his commitment to guiding them to freedom.
So it's not just about having that vision for yourself.
No.
It's about inspiring others to believe in it,
Yes.
to trust you, to follow you.
Right.
Even when the path is unclear or the journey is arduous,
Yeah.
it's about fostering that collective resilience.
And effective leadership is especially crucial during times of adversity. It's about providing direction,
Right.
offering encouragement,
Okay.
and making tough decisions, even when you yourself might be feeling uncertain.
It's like being the captain of a ship in a storm. You need to project calm,
Right.
make those critical choices,
Yeah.
and assure your crew that you'll weather the storm together.
That's a great analogy. And what's striking
Yeah.
is that the source doesn't portray Moses as some infallible superhero.
Okay.
He made mistakes,
Right.
he faced doubts,
Mm.
but what set him apart was his willingness to learn,
Okay.
to adapt,
Yeah.
and to keep moving forward,
Right.
carrying his people with him.
Yeah. So it's not about having all the answers or pretending to be perfect. It's about being vulnerable,
Yeah.
acknowledging that you don't have it all figured out, and being willing to learn and grow alongside your team.
Right.
That's what builds trust and inspires others to keep going,
Yeah.
even when the going gets tough.
You've articulated that beautifully.
Thanks.
And it brings us back to those core themes we've been exploring.
Right.
Resilience and entrepreneurship.
Mhm.
Like the Israelites,
Yeah.
entrepreneurs face a path filled with challenges,
Mm.
uncertainties,
Right.
and the need for constant adaptation.
Right.
But it's through those challenges,
Mhm.
through the process of overcoming them,
Mhm.
that we truly grow,
Mm.
learn,
Right.
and ultimately achieve our goals.
So what does this all mean for our listener who is on their own entrepreneurial journey?
Mm.
What's the key takeaway here?
I think the most crucial insight is that resilience isn't just about bouncing back from setbacks.
Mm.
It's about embracing the entire journey
Right.
with all its twists and turns
Yeah.
and using those experiences to fuel your growth.
You okay?
It's about cultivating that long-term vision,
Mm.
building a supportive community,
Right.
and nurturing that inner strengths to persevere,
Yeah.
even when the path ahead seems unclear.
Okay.
And perhaps, just like the Israelites, we'll find that the challenges we face ultimately lead us to a destination even greater than we could have imagined.
That's a powerful message. Now, as we wrap up this part of our deep dive,
Good.
I have a final thought-provoking question for you, our listener.
Right.
What's one challenge you're currently facing on your own journey?
Mm-hmm.
And how can you apply these principles of resilience we've discussed to find a path forward?
That's a great question to ponder.
Yeah,
We'll give you a moment to reflect as we head into part 3.
sounds good. Welcome back. I hope you've had a moment to reflect on that question.
Yeah.
What's one challenge you're currently facing, and how can you use these principles of resilience to navigate it? Now,
Right.
as promised, we have one final fascinating insight from the source that might just change the way you view those very challenges.
You know, throughout this deep dive,
Yeah,
we've been talking about resilience as his ability to bounce back,
right,
to overcome,
right.
to push through.
Mm.
But what if there's another layer to this concept?
Okay.
Something even more profound.
Okay, now you've got me intrigued.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
The source makes this thought-provoking observation.
Hmm.
The Israelites didn't just endure their challenges.
Right.
They were fundamentally transformed by them.
Okay.
Those 40 years in the desert weren't just a test of their endurance.
Right.
They were a crucible that forged them into a stronger, more unified nation.
That's a powerful shift in perspective.
It is.
It's not just about surviving the hard times. It's about allowing those experiences to shape you,
Yes.
to refine you, to
Okay.
make you better.
Exactly. And I think that's a crucial message for entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
We often focus on reaching that end goal, that finish line.
Yeah.
But what if the real value lies in the journey itself?
Right.
In the lessons learned,
Yeah.
the skills honed,
Yeah.
the resilience built along the way.
So it's not just about getting to the promised land.
It's not.
It's about who you become in the process of getting there.
Exactly.
It's like that saying, the obstacle is the way.
Precisely.
Hmm.
And the source highlights how the Israelites, through their struggles,
Yeah.
developed ingenuity,
Right.
resourcefulness,
Yeah.
and an unwavering sense of community. These weren't just traits they picked up along the way.
Right.
They became ingrained in their identity.
That's a powerful idea for any entrepreneur to consider.
It is.
What if the challenges you're facing right now are not roadblocks, but opportunities for transformation? What if they're shaping you into the leader you need to be
Right here.
to achieve your ultimate vision?
I think that's a fantastic question for every listener to ponder.
Yeah.
Because in the end,
Yeah.
it's not just about reaching the destination.
Mm.
It's about who you become along the way.
Right.
It's about embracing those challenges, learning from them,
Yeah.
allowing them to forge you into a more resilient,
Right.
resourceful, and ultimately
Yeah.
successful entrepreneur.
This has been such an insightful deep dive.
It has.
We've covered so much ground,
Yeah.
from the importance of long-term vision and community to the transformative power of challenges and the crucial role of leadership.
And I hope our listeners have gleaned some valuable takeaways
Yeah.
from this unique lens,
Hmm.
viewing their own entrepreneurial journeys through the trials and triumphs of the Israelites.
It's amazing how ancient history can offer such relevant and timely wisdom for the modern entrepreneur.
It is,
So as we wrap up this deep dive, remember adversity is inevitable,
right?
but it doesn't have to define you.
Yeah.
Instead, embrace the challenges, find strength in community, keep your long-term vision in sight, and allow those experiences to transform you into the leader you're meant to be. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
We'll see you next time.